Hi, welcome back. I'm David Bubis, Director of Philanthropy at Public Counsel. Thanks again for tuning in to our very first Facebook Live sessions today on Giving Tuesday. Right now, we have our Homelessness Prevention Project represented by Nisha Bias, who's our directing attorney in that project. And she's going to say a few words about her project and introduce some of her teammates.
Hey, everybody. Ooh, I think I got to squeeze in a little closer. Hi, I'm Nisha Bias. I direct the Homelessness Prevention Law Project here at Public Counsel, as David mentioned. And as everyone knows, homelessness is a massive crisis in Los Angeles County and Los Angeles City. We have over 50,000 people who are sleeping on the streets, sleeping in their vehicles, or sleeping in other places that are unfit for human habitation every night. And beyond that, we have several more thousand people who are facing housing instability. And so our project really concentrates on these populations of individuals and providing core direct services to these folks to remove barriers to housing and to help people maintain their housing and prevent displacement. So, the bulk of our work consists of eviction defense. It consists of advocating for government benefits for people to obtain and maintain government benefits to which they're entitled, to basically create a baseline of financial stability. And a third bucket of our work largely consists of sort of what we call our clean start work, which is basically helping people who have received, criminal an infraction or a ticket or a violation, and the attendant fees and fines with reducing or vacating or resolving those fines. Our homeless clients are often encountering or have a lot of encounters with law enforcement because they're on the street or in their vehicles. And these encounters often result in what, so-called quality of life violations, including like sleeping in your car, sleeping in your street, sleeping on the street. And so when we help them resolve these issues, we've taken away a financial burden because of the fines and fees that are often attached to these. And we've also removed a barrier to housing because oftentimes a criminal record or sometimes these fines and fees and this kind of debt will act as a barrier to housing. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues here, Silvana Najib and Mary Oshana, who basically represent our newest program within our Homelessness Prevention Law Project, which are our Preventing and Ending Homelessness program. So Silvana, say a few words about yourself and about the work that we're doing, and then we'll turn it over to Mary.
Hi, so my name is Silvana Najib, and I've been an attorney for 11 years. I just came to Public Counsel 6 months ago because I was motivated to join the fight against homelessness. After living in LA for 2 years, I was shocked and saddened by what I saw everywhere I go in the city of Los Angeles and Los Angeles County, people living in really deplorable conditions where clearly their health is at risk. And I wanted to be a part of the problem rather than just feeling sad, a part of the solution. I'm sorry, I don't want to be a part of the problem. I want to be a part of the solution, and that's why I decided to join Public Counsel's Homelessness Prevention Team. I have the privilege and the honor of supervising our new project, the Preventing and Ending Homelessness Project. And we are a multidisciplinary collaboration with legal aid organizations across Los Angeles County. And together we provide legal services to help people either get housed or stay housed. We use all the legal tools that are at our disposal to fight homelessness from the beginning for people who are about to become homeless and for people who are already homeless to help them escape the conditions that they found themselves in. And this can be a multi-stage process where we help people, like Nisha said, get a clean start, obtain financial stability, and work with social service providers throughout the county to provide them the services that they need to have a place to live. What we're seeing is that a lot of folks who are on the brink of homelessness can really be, their lives can be altered by having the benefit of having a lawyer to help them with their eviction case. And I think Mary's going to talk to us a little bit about how much it matters that someone has a lawyer in that process.
Good morning. My name is Mary Oshana. I'm a staff attorney here at Public Counsel, and I do work with both Silvana and Nisha on this project. I came to Public Counsel after defending hundreds of tenants and eviction proceedings. So while working there, I realized that these folks were experiencing a number of issues stemming from poor health, which would then lead to employment issues, that would then lead to financial difficulties, and eventually lead to housing issues. So when I heard about the opening at Public Counsel and this project, I quickly jumped on the opportunity to help remove some of those barriers and hopefully provide some stability in our clients' lives. As I stated before, our clients are dealing with so many issues at once. So it makes a world of difference to have an attorney present in court. Folks that don't have attorney present are at an extreme disadvantage, and we see that all the time in court. Because the eviction proceeding is a highly technical process, it can, having an attorney present is really life-changing. One example of that we'll call the client X. He came to us at the 11th hour. I believe he came to us at 4 p.m. the night before his bench trial. With no evidence. He had no idea what the trial was going to actually look like. He didn't even realize that it was an actual trial. He thought he was going to just go in and talk to the judge. So when he came in and he brought in his notice, we realized that the legal notice that he received didn't comply with the law. And so we were able to get that case dismissed on the first trial date and save his tenancy. He now still lives in his rent control unit, and he's able to provide for his kids. He has 2 jobs. We were able to help him with his tickets. The tickets were minor tickets that were for like $100, but because they were unpaid, they turned into thousands of dollars, and we were able to help him resolve his ticket issues and provide some stability in his life.
You know, the story that Mary just told you all is a really good demonstration of what we are seeing throughout Los Angeles, and is affecting so many of our clients, which is that it's extremely expensive to be poor, right? If one of us with our stable jobs at Public Counsel were to get a speeding ticket, right, we would just pay it, and we would grumble, and we would say, oh, I really shouldn't have done that. But in the end, it wouldn't be life-changing. But for our clients, what we're seeing is that when people are living in poverty, there's what we call the snowball effect, which is that one minor mishap can turn into a catastrophe. And one of our clients, we'll call him G, has a story that I think really shows how that happens. What actually happened to him is that he got a speeding ticket. Someone living with multiple health conditions, chronic health conditions on a fixed income. He was unable to pay the speeding ticket because his income is so fixed and he has these health conditions that he has to take care of. Well, that speeding ticket turned into a driver's license suspension, which turned into a warrant for his arrest. And when he got arrested, some neighbors noticed that there were dogs in his apartment that were unattended. So the police were called to come check on his dogs. They were taken to animal control, which resulted in fines and fees. He actually had a charge from what the police saw when they entered in his apartment, which is that his apartment was a little bit messy because he has these health conditions that he's caring for. So it was only with the help of the advocates and the paralegals at Public Counsel that he was able to unravel all of these issues and be in a place where his housing was not at risk. Because the problem, as Mary noted, is that $100 turns into thousands of dollars, and now folks are not able to maintain their housing because they have this outstanding debt to the state, which places them at risk of arrest, which places them at risk of further financial instability. So this is why our approach is so critical, is that we try not just to address the most pressing problem, but all of the problems that underlie it, and figure out, how did this person get to this place where they're facing an eviction?
Are part of the issues systemic that also need to be addressed as opposed to a case-by-case basis?
Absolutely. And that's one reason that we're so fortunate to work at Public Council that has all these different projects working on these different issues. You know, we have folks in our community development project, other folks in the homelessness prevention law project, and we can think about, is there something that can be done systemically? Is there policy advocacy we can engage in to try to change the situation so that our clients are not affected as much, or that the effect is somewhat reduced?
Give us a sense of how many people are helped through the homelessness prevention project currently at Public Council?
Several thousand a year. I mean, and when we talk about also not just the clients we represent, but you know, their families, and so you know, it's and you know, it's also a combination of not just kind of the intensive services, which are obviously really key and really important, but also what you know, I think another thing that Silvana was going to illustrate was even like small interventions on behalf of clients can make a huge impact.
Yeah, and one thing, you know, we were talking about as we were sort of thinking this through is, you know, what is the impact of giving to Public Council? What is the impact of supporting these projects? And what we realize is that each lawyer that we're able to have on our team is a game changer for hundreds of people that lawyer represents in a given year, because having a lawyer changes the outcome of the case and can eventually change the outcome of your life. You know, one example of what such minor interventions can make a difference, as Nisha mentioned, one client, we'll call her Kay, came to us having already made an agreement to move out of her unit. She had fallen behind on the rent due to some employment issues. She had made an agreement to move out of her unit in a month. Well, we looked at her case and said, that's not enough time. You have a Section 8 voucher. You're not going to be able to find a place in a month where the landlord will accept your Section 8 voucher. It's very difficult to find in LA County and across the country. And so even though she already had this agreement in place, we went to court and advocated on her behalf to try to get her some more time to move. She was willing to pay the rent. And just by showing up in court, we were there for probably an hour and a half. We were able to negotiate with the landlord to get her 6 months so that she could have enough time, the time that she absolutely would need in order to find a place to live. And this is someone who is low income and has 2 children. And without that extra time, I have little doubt that family would have been at serious risk of homelessness, because it's just so difficult to find a place when you're low income, and the Section 8 voucher is another layer on top of that. The other issue is that if you have an eviction case and there's an unfavorable finding, you could lose your Section 8 voucher. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a problem, not just next month, not the next 6 months, but for decades to come, because that can be the ticket to long-term housing stability. So it was really crucial, and our small intervention of a few hours of our time was able to get her that so she can have stability going forward.
Great.
This is why I'm immensely proud to work with Mary and with Silvana and within our entire homelessness prevention law project team and everyone at Public Council, because you know, we're actually able to directly impact people's lives at when they're at their most vulnerable. And we can't stress enough how much having a lawyer, having someone to advocate on your behalf in court or with an opposing party is so critical and such a game changer. It really improves people's lives.
Great. Can you address or can you come up with any examples of litigation that's been pursued in this field?
Sure, of course. Yes, we, you know, as a result of our services in the community and in our partnerships with community organizations, we identified 3 years ago a pattern and practice of discrimination happening in regards to some properties that were purchased in Koreatown, here actually in this area where Public Council is, and our clients were facing evictions. They're actually facing a lot of tenant harassment. And we were able to intervene and not only help them resolve those matters, but actually challenge the practice of the landlord that, you know, it turned out the pattern that we discovered was that there was discrimination. Our clients were victims of discrimination. And so we were able to actually, change the policy of a large housing provider in Los Angeles, and get these clients in a position where their housing was secure. So,
great outcome.
And one thing that we've noticed is that just even if we don't bring a big case, just showing up to court has an impact on the behaviors of the parties in that court. And I think Mary, who's been going to some courthouses in Los Angeles, has noticed some of that. I don't know if you want to speak to that, Mary.
Yeah. So we, typically, at least what the landlord's attorneys have told me, is that in Compton, there isn't that many defense counsel present, and there hasn't been for a long time, apparently. And so because of this project, our team is now in Compton Courthouse defending these tenants, and so the results are completely different. Had they been, not represented, a lot of these tenants would probably be out on the streets, or entering into agreements that are not sustainable.
Great. Part of our core practice at Public Counsel is the use of pro bono attorneys. So can anybody address that in terms of how pro bonos are assisting us in the homelessness prevention project?
Oh, absolutely. In really critical ways. We have a long-standing program where we actually, train and train pro bonos, train volunteers to basically do advocacy at DPSS offices throughout the county. This is where this is kind of the place that people go to get what's called general relief, which is like a very base government benefit, and also get access to other benefits to which they may be entitled. And so we train volunteers on this, and we also take them out to these offices in order to do advocacy for the people who are there that day, and also to provide them with other resources. So that amplifies our impact throughout the county, and certainly for a lot of the work the larger work that comes, or the bigger cases that come out of some of our advocacy, we absolutely count on pro bono volunteers to come in and help us, and as I say, to amplify our work and to amplify its impact.
Excellent. I think our time's just about up, but I wanted to really give a shout out to you and your team for being part of addressing maybe one of the biggest challenges in our community that everybody faces every day, and just commuting to work, just seeing people on the streets. We have people on the street right in front of our office here at Public Counsel, so it's a reminder every day to us that this is an incredibly important work, set of work that you're doing, and to thank you guys. So to our viewers, by the way, we've been getting money coming in, so thank you for popping in with your donations. Keep it up. We want to encourage you to tune in the rest of the day, every half hour on the half hour. Our next session's at 11:30. We're going to be hearing from Jill Thompson from the Audrey Ermis Project for Women's and Girls' Rights, which is a new project for Public Counsel. I encourage you to tune in. And please let your friends know about our Facebook Live sessions today. Pass on the links, get the word out. We really appreciate it. The word is spreading, and we really, really do appreciate it. If you yourself have been moved by what you've heard today from our team, I encourage you to hit that donate button at the bottom of your screen. Every dollar coming in is amplified, as Nisha mentioned, by $11 of pro bono services. So every dollar counts, and we really appreciate everybody's contribution. We have a special opportunity today because our board of directors has generously provided a $50,000 match for any contributions coming in today. So please take advantage of that match, and we'll get to that $50,000 mark as the day progresses. I want to thank you all for being here today. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you at 11:30.
Thanks. Give justice.
Yay. Done?